when it comes to innovating and creative thinking, it's not that we can't think creatively or we can't innovate something new or make something better. It's just the fact that we're not putting ourselves in the position to actually force ourselves to actually think that way. Welcome to the Daily Effort Podcast. My name is Sam, and if it's your first time listening, welcome to the show. If you've listened before, welcome back. I always appreciate y'all taking time out of your day to actually listen. And the whole purpose of this podcast, for those of you who are new, and just a reminder for those of you who have listened in the past, the whole purpose is to uncomplicate success. I really want to go through and give you the things that you need to know to level up your life and go reach the goals and that level of success that you actually want. And at this point in my life, do I still have a long ways to go and things that I want to accomplish? Absolutely, I do. But as I continue to go, I want to make sure I'm giving you the things that are working for me so then you can take them and apply them to your life and see the same success. So with the episodes that I'll be doing, I'm always going to roll out one episode a week. It'll always be Mondays at 5 a.m. Central Time. I'll roll it out on Spotify, Apple Podcast platform, and then also I will put it on YouTube as well. And the whole really purpose behind that is just making sure for those of you who get an early start to the week and maybe you're doing a commute, you can listen as you go. And if you get value from an episode, all I ask is that you just share the show. Text it to a friend, tell a friend about it, share it on social media, tag me in it. I would greatly appreciate it. And I always appreciate the comments as well. Any questions you'll have, anything that you want to see covered on an episode, please drop it in a comment, shoot it to me in a DM, or maybe shoot it to me in an email. If you have my number, just shoot it to me in a text as well. So that's just the layout of everything as far as how often I'll release the episodes and the purpose of the podcast as well. Now today, what I'm going to be diving into, I was reminded of one thing that this past week, that one thing that always will start to drive more innovation and creativity. And most of the time from what I've seen, when it comes to innovating and creative thinking, it's not that we can't think creatively or we can't innovate something new or make something better. It's just the fact that we're not putting ourselves in the position to actually force ourselves to actually think that way. And the scenario I had come up this past week was there was someone I was talking to who is going to build a business. So they have a coaching business that they're working on building, and there's certain things that they do daily to go out and actually build it. And at this point in time, they're not running ads or anything like that. They're just going out and, talking to people, connecting with them, just building relationships, just getting the word out about what he is doing. And he's bringing up one of the things that he focuses on every single day. He's always bringing up his coaching at least 3 times a day to someone. And he works at a gym, and he was starting to run into the problem where at the gym, he had already talked to everybody that he had a relationship with. He had already talked to everybody that, he had already brought up the coaching to everybody that was there for the most part. There were still a few people that he hadn't brought it up to. There were still a few relationships that he could build. However, he was coming to the point where he didn't really know what to do. And when he was asking my advice on it, my response to him was, well, the cool thing is you get to go out and figure out how to meet more people, let them know about what you do, and let them know how you can help them out. I was like, you get to figure that out now. You think there's not people there now, and you're asking the question of, well, what should I do now? Well, now you have to go figure it out. And that's the beauty of starting to innovate and think creatively is you have to put your back up against the wall to a degree. And you have to put yourself in a position to force that creative thinking. And this is something that I was just reminded of in that instance when I was talking to him, because it's very easy for me and everybody to just get into the same old routine. Just in general, as humans, we're just creatures of habit. We love doing the same old routines. If anything changes inside of our environment, well, then it unsettles us to a degree. We get thrown off our routine. Think about if you're a structured person, Think about when you are at home. You probably do the same thing day in and day out. Well, what happens when you go travel? You probably don't do the same things, or you change your environment, you do something different, get in a different place, and things are going to change. And even with animals, you see that. If you disturb, because I grew up hunting, well, if you put something that's out of the ordinary inside of, let's say, a deer's location, well, then they're going to know that. It's they're going to notice it, and they're going to probably shy away from that area because there's something off, something different. And we're actually very, very similar when you look at it. But if you're wanting to start coming up with new ideas, making things better, you have to force yourself to do that. And here's the reason why. When it comes to innovating and thinking creatively, well, that requires growth to a degree from a mindset perspective, or we have to be in an environment that is forcing us to actually grow. Now, you can do this a lot of ways, but the way that I'm just bringing up is forcing yourself into taking more action that will actually stimulate the creative thinking. And the example I gave earlier with the guy that's going out and building the coaching business, that's just one way. And I was reminded of another way that I could really do this as well, over the past couple weeks, because for me, I'm doing a CrossFit competition later on in October. And this will get to how you can actually start to do this practically. But with doing the CrossFit competition, I'm not doing it by myself. I'm doing it with a team of 3 other people. And well, since I'm doing it with those people, since I have that accountability, well, and I don't want to let them down, and I also don't want to look bad on the competition floor, well, it has forced me to find more time in my schedule to get the training done. Where previously I was telling myself, well, I don't know if I have the time to actually go and do the training that I need to. And as soon as I was put in the situation where I'd committed to something and I had accountability and I really didn't want to let people down, well, then I just figured it out. And that's really how you're going to be able to apply this. You have to figure out, what can you commit to? Who are you going to tell about it that's actually going to hold you accountable to it? And this applies to anything. It will apply to your career. It can apply to your fitness journey. It can apply to relationships. It literally applies to anything in life. And I know I bring up my faith from time to time. It applies to that as well. For example, if I'm wanting to spend more time reading my Bible, building a better relationship with the Lord, and let's say I'm slacking on that, I'm not doing a good job. Well, what I'll do, I'll commit. I'll be like, I am going to read one chapter out of my Bible a day. Then I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to go tell someone about it. I'm going to go tell someone that really aligns with the same thing. For me, that would be Jared Bond. That's who I would tell. He's a very good friend, and he would hold me accountable and constantly check in. And that would force me to start doing that. And in my mind, even though I wasn't doing it, it would really help create the habit. Or in my mind, I was telling myself, I wouldn't have time to go and do that. Well, just by committing and telling someone, it forces me just to find the time to actually do it. And then other things will start to happen. More creative things will start to happen. I'll start to think deeper about things. And that's the beauty of all of this. If you really want to grow, a lot of times we think that going and doing the work necessary and working hard it's just that in of itself. No, it's true. Working hard will get you to where you want to go from a standpoint of reaching the goal in the time frame that you have set, but also you have to really put yourself and work very hard and put yourself in a situation that will put your back up against a wall to a degree and force you to go, because then that's where creativity will really start going. And you'll start taking more action and start being more consistent. And that's always the thing. If you're wanting to get to any place in life, it's always just going to require more action out of you to get to where you want to go. And most of the time, why we won't be thinking creatively and innovating things is because well, we're just stuck in the same old routine and we're actually not forcing ourselves to really push and grow. And if we don't grow, well, then mentally we're not going to grow either. And that's the thing that you have to remember about all of this. Your actions control your emotions. And understanding that loop there, if you are taking more action, well, then more things are going to start to pop up in really creative thoughts in your mind that will set you up for success. Now, there's a lot of different things that you can do to think creatively outside of maybe pushing yourself from an action standpoint. I'm not going to say it's the only way. For example, I know a lot of people will journal or, go change their environment and it'll just spur their creative thoughts and everything like that. I notice that happens to me too. Anytime that I go back home or maybe I'm on a plane and I'm really detached from everything, well, I notice that I start to think a lot more freely because I'm not so down in the weeds with everything. But bringing this back around, why creative thinking is going to be such an important thing to you is because it will constantly help you make things better. It will help you continue to think of new ideas that'll help you move yourself forward. And how you have to go about doing that is by putting yourself in a very uncomfortable situation that will force you to start thinking creatively. No different than my friend who is working on building his business, and he is building it. He's doing a great job, but putting himself in that situation where he has to do those tasks daily, well, and he's running into the obstacle of, I don't have as many people around me anymore to actually talk to about my coaching. Well, that's forcing him to think about, well, how else can I go out and start to actually accomplish this so that I can go out and help the people that I want and also grow the business that I want. It's really that simple. And for you right now, if you're thinking about, well, how can this apply to you? Well, at this point in time, and I'll give some examples, maybe you're at a spot in your journey where maybe you want to take your health seriously. Maybe you're wanting to even level up your fitness and in some type of way. Well, then how you're going to go about doing that right now, because maybe you're like, well, I can't really think of creative ways to really go and do this, or I can't really make the time as of right now with things that are going on in my life. Well, what you're going to do, pick something. I would suggest pick a certain goal, pick a competition. It could be, and when I say pick a goal, it could be a certain amount of times you're going to work out a week. Then you're going to go tell someone about it. Someone that you know is going to hold you accountable to actually doing it. And then you're going to go do it. And you're going to start to find time to actually get the things done. And you're going to find creative ways to make sure that you move forward in the direction that you want to go. And that's what all this is about. The creative thinking, innovation, it's all about how can you start to think of more ways to go and accomplish the things that you want, because there's always a way in. We just get stuck in this mindset that, well, we have all these obstacles, we have all these problems, but there's really not solutions to them. And that's not true by any means, because if there is a problem, then that means there's going to be multiple solutions at times that you can implement to actually overcome that obstacle or solve that problem that's right in front of you. And fitness is just one example. If you're wanting to have a better relationship right now and you know you need to be spending time with your significant other, well then, and you're telling yourself maybe you don't have time, or maybe you're struggling with just fun date night ideas or something like that, well then what you're going to do is you're going to commit to maybe, let's say, one date night a week. And then you're going to tell someone about it that will hold you accountable to it. And maybe it starts out those date nights, you're just going out to eat. And you kind of start doing that. Well, as you start to do that, you're going to get caught in maybe doing the same thing, and you're going to start to think of, okay, well, I'm running into this situation where I'm starting to do the same things with the date nights. What else can I do? And you start to research about it and look for different things that you can go and do. So by putting yourself in a situation where you have to think creatively and innovate a new way to go out and do something, cool. It's like you're going to figure it out. And we just have to remember, we're very lazy as humans. We like to be comfortable. We like to fall into complacency. And most of the time we think we are thinking, but we're really not. It's like we're not taking enough time to actually do that or put ourselves in a situation to actually do that. So those are just a couple examples for you as far as, being able to go out and start thinking creatively or putting yourself in a position to actually think creatively or innovate something. That's what you have to do. You have to put your back up against the wall to do it. And sometimes this can be really drastic. I've heard of people who are going to, start a business, completely just quit their job and not have an income, and they have to go and figure it out. And a lot of times that they do. So is it we can't think creatively, or is it we're just not making ourselves think, or we're in a situation that makes us comfortable and we don't actually have to? Most of the time we are in a situation where we don't actually have to think and think about the ways that we can go and do things and do them consistently so we can see the success we actually want. That's really what it boils down to. So what I would love for y'all to do, and this is a little bit of a shorter episode today, is what's that? Number one, identify what's the thing in your life where you need to start thinking a little more creatively about it. You need to innovate some things. Identify that. Then second thing, commit to, first off, if you're not doing it, go and start to do it and tell someone about it, someone that will hold you accountable, and it'll force you outside of your comfort zone to actually start going to take action and take action consistently enough. And then that's going to force you to start having to figure things out. If you're not put in the situation or put in the environment to have to figure things out, you really won't. So that's what I got for y'all. So drop a comment as far as what you're going to be focusing on that you can improve or start to do something a little differently or think creatively. Like, drop that in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. If I can help y'all out with it in any way, please let me know. But other than that, have a great day. Make it a good week, and God bless.